Welcome to Investor Secrets Unlocked. My name is Jason Rodriguez, and today we're gonna be talking about finding property values, the comps. How do we figure out what the property is worth? So, if you're new to the channel, what we do here is we help and we teach real estate investors how to be profitable in the game so that they can go out and get the money right now. Whoosh. So I often get this question, is like property values, finding out the property values. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Depending where you are, if you're in the city where every single house looks the same, life is easy. But it's probably not gonna be like that all the time. You might, the further out, the more rural, the more, sometimes the more challenging it could be. But for the most part, this video is more intended for just gonna be in a normal city where there's regular houses around. There may be different styles and different looks to them and different sizes, but it's just kind of a regular neighborhood. So number one, when we're pulling comps and finding property values, what are we looking for? So my thought process when I'm looking for these properties is I had interviewed an appraiser a while ago, and the appraiser, the reason why I interviewed the appraiser is because of this whole finding property value situation. They gave me some rules to the game, right? So number one is when you're pulling a comp, it needs to be close in proximity. Number two, similar in style. Number three is the size, meaning is it 1,500 square feet? Is it 18? Is it 3,000 square feet? And then the next piece might have been the age of the home. So you don't want to necessarily comp a house it was built in the 1920s with a house built in 2010. The style is not the same. The age is not the same. So those are going to be some important pieces. A lot of times the tricky thing that people want to say is they don't pay too much attention to the bedrooms and the square footage. They don't pay too much attention to the square footage. They pay more attention to the bedrooms and bathrooms. When I interviewed that appraiser, he was like, no go on that. Why? Here's a simple thing. What if you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that is 1,000 square feet, and then you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, which has one more bedroom, but it's 2,000 square feet? Which one is worth more money? Well, the obvious is the bigger house, the one with 2,000 square feet. So don't get caught up inside there. So you want, so those are some of the basic things. And then when they say close in proximity, what do we mean by close in proximity? The closer to the subject, the main house that you're looking to comp out is the subject house. The one that's the closest to it, if it's like right next door, is perfect. The further away, ideally you want to stay within a half-a-mile radius. If you cannot find anything on a half-a-mile radius, the appraiser said that they will go a little bit further out. And I go by what the appraiser says because the appraiser is the hierarchy in this game right here. So that was one piece. Similar in style. What they mean by similar in style is like, try to compare a ranch to a ranch. It does not have to be that, according to the appraiser. They prefer it to be that. So if you have a ranch and a colonial type house, that's fine. If that's what's close and that's what the square footage is, and it's similar in in the location area. So similar style. Sizing, we already just covered that. The age. So age, what's the discrepancy on age? Maybe a 30, 40-year-old house difference may be okay. But when you look at it, a lot of times you might have to look at it and be like, does this, 1940 house, does it look similar to the 1970 house? It might. It might be the same ranch style house. Then maybe that's a flaw. It's okay. But those are the common rules to it. So moving on to sources. So where do we find, what resources can we use to find these properties? Some people are going to say MLS is the best, right? And I may not disagree with that, right? But you need access to MLS. So you either need a license or someone that's going to give you access, and that could just be a pain. People, the devil in the room is, I guess, Zillow, right? Because people look at it and they go by the Zestimate. The Zestimate is not a comp. It's Zillow's algorithm of what that property may be worth. It is by no stretch a comp. And when we comp those houses, we're going to look at each one of those. We're going to go, I like to use Zillow, right? So we're talking about resources. I like to use Zillow a lot of times. Why? Because it's easy and they have the information there. But I still use my intellect and to look and say, okay, this house is 1,200 square feet. This one is 1,400. This one is 1,500. This one is 1100. I can still use all of those comps, and they're close, less than a half a mile away, and they look similar. Great, I may use that. But do not use the Zestimate. You're gonna have to do your info. So number 1, MLS. Number 2 is Zillow. Number 3, Redfin. Number 4, Realtor.com. Number 5 is Comps.com. Number 6 is Trillia. So most of those are free, and you're able to kind of get the information from there. But you must take the time and go house by house and compare it to the subject property. To have a true evaluation on the property, you should have at least 3 comps. And remember, comps is comparable to other comparable homes. So when I pull my comps, a lot of times, it typically takes me, I'm gonna say about 15 to 20 minutes on a relatively easy comp. Meaning because I'm looking at the subject and I'm comparing every property to that, of all 3. So here's the subject, number 1, comp. I'm making sure that it fits all the criterias. Making sure, and I'm actually looking at the pictures. When I go into Zillow, I look at the pictures. I make sure, oh, you know what? This comp number 1 has an old kitchen. But the house that I'm buying is a brand new kitchen. And it has a brand new bathroom. Comp number 1 has an old kitchen and an old bathroom. So when I talked to the appraiser and I interviewed the appraiser, he said that what they do is they do a plus and a minus on there. They'll give a credit, plus, minus. So maybe for a new kitchen, you get an extra $5,000. For a new bathroom, maybe you get an extra $3,000. And I'm not saying how much a kitchen is worth. I'm just using that as an example. The reason why, because it depends the house. If it's a $1 million house, the kitchen might be an extra $80,000. Who knows? It could be, whatever. So don't quote me on the number. But what I want you to get out of here is that there is a plus and a minus on each one of those. So when I think about comps, I like comps. It is not the sexiest topic in the world, but it's a must topic. You must master comps. There's things you need to know in the business. There's things you need to master. So comps is something that you need to know. Look, one of the questions I have, a question for you guys is, where are you finding your comps? Where do you find your comps? What resources do you go? There's always new comp services coming out all the time, and some of them come out of nowhere. They're a sleeper, and then boom, they're great. So let us know where you find your comps. Another thing that we do here on the channel to provide more value is because I know that some of you want to go out and you're looking at these videos and you want to do real deals. You don't just want to watch the videos. Some of you want to watch just checking it out. Cool. Some of you are like, I need to learn exactly how to do this. I need someone to coach me, hold me through it, teach me through that. So we have a free training in the description. So if you go into the description, we have a free training. Take it, take your time, digest it. It is fantastic. I know you're gonna love it. And so that's what that's something that we have for you here. So one other thing with comps, you have to practice and practice and practice. So don't think that you're gonna come out the first time and then be an expert in comps. It took me 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times to actually start feeling a lot more comfortable on it. And I may or may not have had a deal. I'm just gonna comp this house. What do I think the value is? And I have fun with it. Another question that people say is like, hey, what if I get really stuck on this? Who can help me with it? Well, a lot of times you can if I get stuck on a deal or one of my students get stuck, I tell them, go maybe talk to a realtor, the top selling realtor in the area, or just a realtor that sells properties in the area. A lot of times they're able to help you to understand what's going on in there. So why do I think comps is so important, right? Number one, yes, you got to know the value of the property. But the other thing behind it, especially starting off brand new, learning the comps and then mastering the comps is going to do something huge. It's going to build massive confidence in you. The more confident you are to say, hey, this house is worth $300,000, and the seller is willing to sell it to us for $150,000 and it only needs $20,000, so I'm at $170. All of a sudden you're like, wow, I know it's worth $300. You're like, I see money. I see $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 of profit. That's gonna build your confidence, and from that confidence builds action. And we are all about getting you into action so that you're profitable. So, again, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, ring the notification button, and make sure that if you want to check out our free training, it's in the description. And thank you so much for your time. Check out our next video that talks about marketing, and we're gonna be out of here. My name is Jason Rodriguez. I'm out.